Find a long, tall seat. Head over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Grounding down with everything that is touching the earth. You can close the eyes if you feel comfortable enough to do so. And just start to notice the space that you're in right now. Maybe without looking, sensing the shape of the room you're in, where its limits are. And then noticing what it feels like for you to be in your body in this space. What are the senses picking up? Temperature, any movement in the air. And then what it feels like inside of your own body in this space. Everything from the top of the head, down the back, through the hips, down the legs, to the toes. And all these things that we're noticing, trying to recognize what we're sensing without adding any attachment. So it's neither good nor bad. They just are. Everything is just as it is. And we'll come together with the sound of Om. The vibration of Om is the vibration of the common energy among all living things. So every being, every tree, every plant, that's stuff that we're all made of. Everyone's made of energy. Everything's made of energy. That's stuff that's common. Slow breath in. Settling into the present moment. If you'd like to set an intention for this morning's class, now's the time to do it. For this evening, depending where you are in the world. We'll start to get into the movement. So imagining that there is like a little marker in the top of your head, and we're going to draw circles on the ceiling with that marker. And as you're ready, you can start to lift the gaze if you like. You can always practice with the eyes closed if you feel comfortable enough to do so. And let's reverse that circle. So we're going to make the other direction. Feeling the whole torso moving and coming back to the center. Inhale the arms up overhead, weave the fingers together. We'll press the palms forward and the spine goes back. Let the head fall. And then on an inhale, we'll lift the heart, press the pinkies back. And on an exhale, press the palms forward, the spine goes back, let the head fall. One more time with your own breath, so we're moving the spine to seated cat-cow. We're getting the nervous system going. That's where your spine holds all those cords the highway for the nervous system. And let's go over to one side. We'll reach the fingers across the room and open the side body, breathing into that open side, that lung that is really got a lot of space right now. And we'll come up through the center and go over to the other side, reaching across the room. So we're not trying to touch the floor with our top hand. We're actually trying to like touch the corner of the ceiling on the other side of the room. And bring it back up to the middle. And let's check where your legs are. And we're going to come forward into a little forward fold. And let's keep the spine long. And we're opening the outer thigh. So if coming forward is too much and you sort of slouch back, just stay high. But if you can keep the spine long and keep reaching the top of the head across the room, and we'll come forward. Should feel like a nice opener, not painful, but just gently stretching. The good pain, not the bad pain. And coming back up. And remember which leg is in front or on top, and we'll keep the lengthen the legs out long, and we'll get into the ankles a little bit. So we'll go around in circles with the toes. Nice. And around in circles the other way. And then we'll shake the knees. And from the hips going open and back, open back. And then we'll switch which foot goes in front or on top. And we'll do that same outer thigh hip, but now we're getting the other side. So coming up on the inhale and release forward, again, stretching the back long, reaching the tailbone back and top of the head forward. If you can keep that length, you can go a little deeper, but no worries if you need to stay pretty high, that's fine. I feel it already here, even though I know I'm pretty open and I could go deeper, but it still feels like a nice stretch just to be a little length. And let's take that length and we'll roll through to tabletop. So tabletop is hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We can do that same cat-cow movement that we were doing when we were seated, but on the inhale, we'll drop the belly and lift the heart. And on the exhale, we press the spine up towards the ceiling and let the head fall. And this is where we usually find the cat-cow, but we'll just do a couple because we already did a few. And come back to the center. We'll reach the right foot back, lengthen the back of the leg. And let's actually take this form into a modified side plank. So I'm going to take the right foot down towards the end of the mat. My left hand is still under my shoulder, and then my right arm goes up. Yeah, cool. If you ever need to like switch which is the top and which is the foot of your mat, just to see the camera, that's okay. And you can take your right foot, you can stay right where you are, but if you want to go for a little more core, a little more balance, you take the right foot and lift it up. It's okay to fall over. It's a nice low pose, so if you tip, that's okay. Dad, I think maybe your audio is still on. And then coming back down, we'll switch over to the other side. So come through the middle. We'll take the left heel towards the floor behind you. Opening the back of the leg. And switching over onto the right side. So the left leg goes, the right toe is almost pointing towards the left arch. And then the left hand goes up towards the ceiling. Find your balance here, no rush. Stay here as long as you need to. And then maybe the left foot lifts and you're balancing on one shin and one hand. Really quite the trick. And we'll release down into tabletop. Bring the big toes to touch. Let's sit back in our heels and find child's pose for the first time in this class. Resting the arms long, letting the whole body melt. There's no strain in child's pose. You can just let everything sink into the earth. No muscles needed, just gravity. And we'll add a little rock side to side for a little self-soothing, giving your forehead a massage, your shins a massage. And it feels kind of nice on the hips too, if you ask me. Coming back to the center with the breath here. And we'll press through the palms, tuck the toes, shoot the hips back, and here we are in our first dog. No goals or desires here, just recognizing how the pose feels right here, right now, and maybe sinking a little deeper into some part of it. So maybe that means stretching one heel towards the floor, maybe that means pressing the belly button towards the spine or shimmying in the shoulders, just finding a little movement that feels nice in your body without adding pain, but adding a little blood movement, a little personal, kind of like almost a massage for yourself. Nice. And then walking forward into the fold. So we're going to hang over. We're going to check that our feet are parallel, toes forward, heels back. Bend the knees as much as you need to and relax over the thighs. We're going to shake the head yes, shake the head no. Really let the neck and shoulders release and relax. Again, you're holding your body up. You've got your leg muscles working, but your hips all the way to the top of your head are just released. And then we'll tuck the tailbone and come vertebrae by vertebrae, slowly up to stand, all the way to a high arch. So let's bring the thumbs up together overhead, link them, and go for a little shimmy. Taking a breath in here, and then on the exhale, releasing forward back right into that fold you just were in. Bend the knees as much as you need to. We always want to bend the knees to protect the lower back and hamstrings. So if you feel like you can go deeper, you can start to straighten and straighten and straighten, but start with them bent and then slowly check in with yourself. How far does this pose gonna let me go? Keep the left foot forward, we'll bring the right foot back, lower down the right knee, sink into the hips as you lift up in the heart. Parapyasana, low lunge. Nice. Check that your front knee is pointing over your toes. You never want it to go to the outside in either direction, just straight over your toes. Then we'll bring the hands down to plank, up to flat so that we can bring the legs back to plank. So one long line from the heels to the top of the head, starting to engage with the core. Take a moment here just to feel this pose, feel the strength. Bend the elbows a little if you need to prevent hyperextending. Then we'll lower down the knees and the heart and chin. So this is 8-point pose. My belly is not quite on the floor yet. And come forward and up. Now you're going to go all the way down to the earth, palms under the shoulders. Lift the heart for a little tiny cobra. Let's do no hands cobra. This one's just a baby cobra. Really checking that your back is doing the work. And release down. Once again, tuck the toes and we'll push up and back into dog again. Checking in, seeing if it's different or the same as the first dog that you did. Is there a different piece of the body that you want to move now? Or keep going with the same one as before. And then bring the right foot forward all the way in between the hands. We're going into low lunge, same thing as we did it on the way down, this time on the other foot. Sinking down in the hips, lifting in the heart. Maybe feeling it in the back quad or front hamstring. Back foot comes to meet the front. We'll hang over again. Here we are in the Uttanasana, the forward fold. Just shaking the head, nodding the head, releasing the shoulders. And this time, instead of curling the tailbone, we're going to reach the top of the head to the front of the room so it's a flat back. And come all the way up to high arch. Down through heart center, steady heart, steady breath. We're going to do the same thing starting on the left foot and go a little bit more smoothly. So it'll be more of a flow, a little, yeah, just more of a flow for the second side of the sun salutation. Inhale, comes up and back. Release down. Left foot goes back, little lunge, lift heart. Right foot meets the left, long line in plank pose, lower down, knees, chest, and chin. Forward and up through cobra, use the back muscles. Tuck the toes, push back, downward dog. Left foot comes forward, low lunge, other side, lift the heart. Back foot meets the front, Uttanasana, forward fold. Reach the top of the head to the front of the room as you come up, down through heart center, steady heart, steady breath. Okay, let's start kind of the same way. Inhale comes up and back. Maybe you can go a little deeper this time. Maybe you can see the corner of the ceiling. Maybe you can see all the way right over your head. On an exhale, release. Let's grab opposite elbows so we can add a little bit to that fold. We're going to add to the shoulder release, add to the neck release. Can imagine anything, any stress that you're holding on to, running down the length of the spine, down the neck, up the top of the head. Right foot goes back. This time, let's go to kneeling pose. So that means front knee over ankle, back knee under hip. Left hand down to the floor inside the foot. Or if the floor is too far away, use a water bottle or a block and bring the hand down and the right arm up. Nice. Okay, yeah, left hand inside left foot, right arm up towards the ceiling. If it's okay on the neck, you're looking up towards the right fingertips. How are we doing with our intention? It's still there. Coming back down. Once again, find plank pose. We'll add on to the side plank. So let's take the left hand to the center of the mat. If you want, you can drop down that left knee again like we did at the beginning of class, or tip over onto the side. Long line, just like in regular plank, you've got a long line from the heels to the top of the head, but this time you're just on one hand. Good. And curl it back down, take a breath in the middle. And switch sides, so the right hand comes to the center, left hand comes up. Finding balance, finding calm, even in chaos of pose. Back to the center, one long line from heels to the top of the head. You can do knees, chest, and chin again if you like, or you can go down through chaturanga. Elbows go down along the side of the body. If you're in knees, chest, and chin, you can go to cobra. If you're in chaturanga, you can come into up dog. Palms are on the floor, toes are on the floor, or the tops of the feet, but the hips are off. And press back through dog. Taking a moment here, finding rest perhaps even. Let's take the right toes up and back for down dog split. Maybe point the right toe towards the floor behind you and get into some circles with the knees to open the hip. Extending the right leg. Take a breath in here, and on the exhale, bring the right foot in between the hands, lower down the left heel, warrior one. Yeah, so the front knee is over or behind a little bit the ankle. Hips are aiming towards squaring to the front of the room. Arms are long. Shoulders stay low. Let's open up into warrior two. Lower body stays relatively the same. Keep the knee over the toe. Don't let it go inside or outside. Arms extend parallel to the earth. And we're actually going to windmill down. And this time, can we windmill down to kind of a kneeling pose? We're going to walk the right foot out to the side of the mat and bring the palms underneath the shoulders like you were doing a push-up. So right foot near the edge of the mat, left knee kind of down like you were in the kneeling pose. But we're going to tuck the left toe and lengthen for a big hip opener. Yeah, and you can go a little forward and back, a little side to side, find some movement. If you're feeling good about this, you've got your knee over your ankle and it's not going inside or outside, it's still the direction of the toes. And you want to go a little deeper, you can come and bring the back leg down and sink a little deeper into the hip, maybe onto the forearms. Right? Yeah. Always feel free to stay up. If the floor is just too far away, you can bring a block under the hands and stay there. Finding a little movement. Coming back up, if you're low, palms under shoulders, tuck the left toe. And let's lengthen it back up. Let's take the left foot one step further in. And we're going to take the right hand outside the right foot. So we're kind of moving the right foot back to almost being like a lunge. But what we're going to do is lengthen the front foot and get into our pyramid pose. And you might not actually be able to lengthen the leg all the way, but finding something that feels nice for your hamstring. So we're in pyramid pose here. Lengthening the leg long. Again, you can use blocks or water bottles or whatever you have around to stay a little higher, or bend the knee a little bit. And let's transition that into a Trikonasana. So my right hand is going to go on the floor inside my right foot, or on my shin, or on the block, and the left hand comes up towards the ceiling. How are we doing? Okay, looks good. Kayla looks good. I think PJ looks good too, but it's a little small. Yeah, good. We're all good that I can see. And we're going to take this pose and use the left fingertips to pull us back up into warrior two. Beautiful. All right. Steady breath, steady heart right here. Enjoy this moment, enjoy this pose. So much room to breathe, so stable. And then we'll take the right fingertips and bring them down outside, diagonally outside the right foot, and draw up onto the right foot for Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Cool. If your left toe is not up off the floor, that's okay. You're just making your way, finding your balance. You can use the wall behind you if you like. Now let's rotate it into a forward fold and just hang and just offer yourself some gratitude for doing what you're doing, for showing up, for using your body, for moving the blood. And we'll tuck the tailbone and come all the way up to stand one more time. And release down through heart center, steady heart, steady breath. Checking in. And prepare for the other side. So we'll inhale up and back. Release over on an exhale, hold in your fold. If you want to grab the elbows again, go ahead. This time, the left foot goes back, left knee comes down. Take the right hand inside the right foot or to the floor or to the block, and the left hand comes up for a twist. And every pose, another opportunity to steady the heart, to find calm. Palm comes back down, and we'll make our way to plank. Knees, chest, and chin, or chaturanga, cobra or up dog. And pushing back for the down dog. Left toes go up and back, down dog split. We'll point the left toes towards the floor behind you. Get into some circles for the hip. Maybe figure eights if you did it on the other side. Maybe there's a crack or two, which is totally okay. Inhale, lengthen the toe long behind you, and exhale, we'll bring it forward. Lower down the right heel. Come up for a warrior one. And we'll open up into warrior two. Check the arms that they're parallel to the earth. Check the knee that is pointing over the front toes. And we'll hold here. Gaze goes over the front fingertips. And we windmill it all the way down, rotating the right to be parallel. We're going to walk the left foot out to the side of the mat. Find that lizard pose. So the hands inside the left foot. Get your hip open here. Little movement front and back, up and down. Feels okay? And then maybe if you're feeling open, the right leg comes down, maybe the right elbow. These are all just options. Don't pull any muscles. Check in with your body, ask what's going on, and then make your decision on how far to take it. And slowly finding your way back up. Lengthening the back leg. Let's walk the left foot inside so it's in between the hands. We'll step the right foot closer in, gets turned out a little bit, and we'll find pyramid pose. So the left leg goes long and extend the back. If it feels okay on the hamstring, you can start to fold over. Remember, if you need to, you can keep the front knee bent a little bit, as long as the knee is going over the toes. And, well, in the direction of the toes, ideally over the ankle. And you can, of course, use your supports, your props, underneath your hands if you have them. And we'll rotate that into Trikonasana. So left hand on the floor, the block, the shin, opening up to the right side. for triangle pose. Nice. Maybe now that you knew what was coming, perhaps this side felt a little more stable. Is the heart still steady? How's the breath? And we'll use the right fingertips to draw us back up, bend the left leg, find your way into warrior two once again. Check the arms, are they parallel? Yes. Looking out over the left fingertips. And we'll step forward into Ardha Chandrasana, left hand diagonally in front of the left foot. And as you're ready, that right foot lifts off. You find your balance. Maybe you use the wall behind you as needed. And we'll rotate into a fold. Hang over one more time. Okay, one more option. You can leave the fingers behind the head at the base of the skull, and almost like you're just adding weight to the head to release the neck. And release those hands. And this time, let's go back to tucking the tailbone, and we'll curl vertebrae by vertebrae. Let the head be heavy. It's the last thing to come up. Extending into that high arch. And exhale back down to heart center. Nice. Okay, let's do a balance. So I'm going to keep my hands at my heart. If you feel more balanced with your hands on your hips, that's great too. We're going to lift up the right heel and turn out from the hip, so it's the whole leg that's turning out. And then the foot connects to the leg. It might be at the ankle, might be at the calf. If you're feeling really balanced, it might be up at the thigh. Wherever you are, you're engaging with the abdominal muscles and all the muscles in that standing leg, around the ankle, around the knee, around the hip. Top of the head reaching up towards the sky. Tree pose, Vrksasana, excuse me. So much balance. It's like that left foot, that standing leg, is in a block of cement, and it's just holding you right there. Let's bring the right knee forward, give it a little hug. Cool. Keep the left hand where it is on the shin, and we'll bring the right hand back. So we're doing a twist while we're balancing at the same time. So twist and focus and strength in that standing leg. Lots of stuff going on. Come back to the center. One more thing here on this left leg. Bring your hands back to the heart. Keep your spine tall. I'm going to move sideways so you can see my back. I'm going to extend my leg forward. Do not let your back hinge. Stay up high as you lengthen the front leg. That means you need to go lower, go lower. And release down to the earth and shake it out. Good, nice. Okay, that's a lot on one leg. Let's do it on the other leg. We're going to pour all the way over into the, well, for me, it's the right foot. It's whatever foot you haven't done yet. Turn it out from the hip on the left. Bring that foot wherever you had it on the first side. Or it might be different. Maybe you're not totally symmetrical. That's okay. Pressing the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot. Just be sure not to press on the knee. We're going to be above the knee or below the knee, not on the knee. Imagine there's so much balance, so much support, so much strength. You could just stay here for the rest of the 20 minutes of class. Nice. Really nice. Okay, now let's give the left shin a little hug. Again, keeping the spine long. Hold here. You're gonna hold on with that right hand and reach back with the left. If you feel okay balance-wise, you can look back too, but that's actually kind of a third step. Returning to the center. Last thing, remember, don't hinge. Keep tall. Lengthen the left leg forward and hold for a breath. And release down. And shake it all out. Okay. Let's do Prapadasana. So we're gonna bring the big toes to touch and stand up on tippy toes. And then come down to balance on the toes. Keep the heels off the floor. And this is how we get into the toe stretch. So keep the toes tucked and then lower the knees down. And stretching the bottoms of the feet is so great. It's so painful sometimes, but it's so nice for the rest of your body. We'll hold that stretch, that foot stretch, as we go into cow face, shoulder stretch. Take one hand, pat the back, grab the elbow with the opposite, maybe reach around and grab the fingertips. Just 3 steady breaths. So much pain, but so much room to breathe. Lots of space in the lungs and ribs. And let's switch to the other side. Keeping the toes tucked if you can. Grab the opposite elbow and find the shoulder stretch. And release. And let's come forward and tap out the toes. We're kind of back in a tabletop. So this time from this pose, I'm going to take my fingers and point them back towards my knees. So my elbows are not actually super hyperextended. I'm going to bend them back a little bit, and it's a stretch for the wrists. Bring them back just a little bit. Nice. If it's too much to point your fingers back towards your knees, you can point them to the sides and go side to side. Up to you. It's so good. I mean, we've been doing a lot on the computers and on our phones and everything. And I have definitely noticed pain in my wrists. And this one really can be helpful for that. And let's switch it. So shake it out. And instead of having the palms on the floor, we'll put the tops of the hands on the floor and pull back the wrists the opposite direction. Yeah, not too much weight. Most of my weight is back in my hips and legs, but just enough to get a little stretch. And let that go. Let's bring the palms together and go for a little circle. Yeah. And whatever way you're doing, switch it the other direction. So it feels like kind of awkward. Yeah. And shake it out. Let's roll over and bring the legs out long in front. I'm going to grab the outside of the right foot and lift it up. Lengthen through the spine. We'll go side to side and back and forth for hips again. And this might be enough. You might be feeling like this is a good opening for the hip, or you can bring the foot across and give it a hug. So you're giving, it's called the leg cradle. You're cradling your leg like it's a baby. Again, side to side, up and down, whatever feels good. Again, trying to keep long through the back. One more breath here. It's one of my favorites. And then we'll release the foot down inside the thigh and bend the opposite leg up towards the ceiling. Yeah. And from here, we'll inhale tall, long through the spine, and exhale to come forward into Janu Shirshasana. It literally translates to head to knee pose, but just however far forward you can get over the leg is fine. Connecting upper body to thigh. And if that feels comfy, you want to go deeper, you can start to lengthen the leg. If you ever lose that connection, bend the knee, come back up, stay a little higher. Should be a nice stretch on the lower back and the left hamstring, and relaxing over. And inhale brings you back up. Maybe give that knee a little love and the thigh a little attention. And we'll switch. So we'll grab the outside of the left foot, start with that hip opening, side to side, back and front. And then when you're ready, drawing across the body, foot in the opposite elbow, knee in the same elbow as foot, and hold and lengthen the spine. Leg cradle. It's kind of a variation on pigeon. And we'll drop the foot down inside the thigh. Bend the opposite knee up towards the ceiling. Again, come tall on the breath in. And exhale, connects forward. Release over. Janu Shirshasana. And coming back up on the breath in. Knee gets a little hug, thigh gets a little hug. And we're gonna prepare, we're gonna lower down. So make sure there's room behind you on your mat. We'll lengthen long. And we're gonna go vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way down to the mat. Let's keep the feet flat and the knees up towards the ceiling. Let's bring our palms together. We're gonna go side to side, just for about 15 seconds, using the core muscles, coming straight up with the heart. And release down. And let's bring the feet flat, knees up, and we'll go windshield wiper side to side with the lower body. Should feel nice on the lower back, should feel nice on the hips. Actually, it just should feel nice overall. If it doesn't feel so nice, then maybe give yourself a pause. And bring everything to the center. Let's give the knees a hug and we'll squeeze everything up. So we're gonna come into a tight, tight, tight little ball. And then extend everything long. Toes one direction, fingers the other direction, just getting as long as you can possibly be. And then again, scrunch everything up. One more time, stretch everything long. And last time, squish everything up. And this time we're gonna drop it into the supine twist, last twist. So we're gonna let the head fall. Knees are gonna fall to the left. Upper body, the gaze goes to the right. So everything is twisting. The torso is squeezing out. Slowing down the breath. We're almost at Shavasana. Everything comes to the center. And we'll switch it to the other direction. So knees fall to the right. Upper body falls to the left. And then everything comes to the center for Shavasana pose. Now, I'm not going to play any music this time. I will go through a guided visualization. So if you want to play your own soft music in the back, that's great. Otherwise, just finding a supine pose anywhere that's comfortable, letting the toes fall open, arms are long by the sides, the spine is straight, and you can close the eyes. And we'll just stay here in our final relaxation for a few minutes. Whenever you're ready, releasing down into the mat. The practice of yoga is the practice of settling the mind. So we go through all that physical work and some breath work to take care of the body so that we can get to this point of relaxation where we're so at ease that we can just find that peace and calm and live there for a few minutes. So in this supine pose, or wherever you are on your mat, imagine there is soft earth beneath you. The ground, the earth is so soft, it's molding exactly to your shape so that you do not need to hold any muscles or use any strength to stay where you are because the ground is supporting you exactly as you are. And know that in this moment, there is nowhere else you need to be and nothing else you need to do. You are in exactly the right place, doing exactly the right thing. Releasing in the toes. Releasing in the soles of the feet. The heels and ankles. Releasing in the calves, the shins, knees. Releasing the thighs. Releasing the muscles in the seat and around the hips, pelvis. Releasing the lower back muscles, the middle and upper back, across the shoulders. Releasing the neck, jaw. Around the face, temples, top of the head. Releasing the fingertips, hands and wrists. forearms, elbows, and upper arms. Releasing the organs in the torso. Letting earth hold even all of your guts. And imagine there is a space at the center of the chest, right side of the heart. And there's a little cave you're sitting in. It's dark. But there's like a tiny little star light. And the light is warm, the light is kind. And it starts to grow and grow into that space at the center of the chest. That warmth, that kind light wraps itself around you like a blanket, a warm blanket light. It starts to radiate beyond just that little cave in the chest, in every direction. Filling the torso, across the shoulders, down the body, to the fingertips, to the toes, to the top of the head, the whole body filled with this warm, kind, loving light, going every which way. Even if you are alone in space, imagine that that light could come so far that it meets the other folks that are practicing yoga right now. Everyone's like kind of merging together across space and time. Coming back to the present, checking in with your breath and your heart. Recognizing once again the space you're in, your own physical shape, and the shape of the space around you. And slowly you can start to wake. Find small movements. And as you're ready, you can start to yawn and stretch. Reach in all directions. Make your way back up to sit. And we always close with a mantra for peace. Om and 3 Shantis. And when you create this sound, imagine the vibration filling the whole body and then filling the space around us and just creating peace where you are. So it's like you're radiating peace out of you. Slow breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be receptive to the grace in all living beings. Om Shanti. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for coming out this morning, this evening.